What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. So lately I have gotten a ton of requests to do kind of an office setup tour. People want to see what I'm gaming on. People want to see what I'm editing on, what I'm using to record. So I'm just going to kind of go through all of that today. Kind of give you a brief walk around the office. I'll show you, some of the things I use for entertainment as well as some of the things that just make my life easier when I'm either playing games or recording. So let's get started. Why don't we start kind of at the far left and move our way around the room. As you can see, this is where I kind of keep my consoles and a big old mess of wires down there. This is a weird setup, right? When I moved into this house, I needed some way of getting these consoles up off the floor, so I just kind of pulled this thing out of the basement and then put this kind of shelf on top of it. I'd love to get something more elegant, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Maybe I'll do that later on this year. So, what we're looking at, we've got an Xbox 360. I still have that thing hooked up. I still like to play it because of those older Call of Duty games. Got a little game collection there, not too many games. Some of those games I need to get rid of. Some of those games I haven't even played yet. Far Cry 4, you can see, is still in its cellophane wrapping there. But I also got the Destiny art book there. I really like that. We got an Xbox One. We got the PS4. Not too much to say about those. You can see the Xbox One is always kind of toward its side, so I can get to the cabling in the back. I don't actually have any disc-based games for the Xbox One, so I never actually have to access the front of it, except to turn it on. So it just kind of sits there on its side all the time. The PlayStation 4 there, we got a couple of controllers and chargers, as well as a headset. Some of you may actually be surprised to see the older version of the Astro A50 headset. You may have seen my glowing review of the 2015 version of the Astro A50 headset, but they're $300, and I already had a perfectly good pair of Astro A50s, so there's really no reason for me to keep those, so I got rid of them. Netgear router. This is the Nighthawk router, and this is one of my favorite things. I have a ton of network traffic in this house. Have two kids, both with iPhones, have a wife with an iPhone and an iPad. At any point in time, we might have multiple devices watching YouTube, or Hulu, or Netflix. This thing does a great job of allowing me to kind of shape and prioritize network traffic so it doesn't interrupt the actual work that needs to be getting done, which it's a lifesaver. This thing has made a huge difference in my life. There's only a few devices I can say that about, and this is definitely one of them. Even though it's just a router, it's really important. Got a Philips Hue light bulb inside of a cheapo Japanese lantern there. Why don't we move on? So we got a couple of games here. Destiny and Dragon Age are kind of the two games I'm playing right now. Couple of controllers, a PS4 white controller, which I'm pretty convinced is on the blink right now. So I've actually got another controller kind of ready to go, waiting in the wings here. And this is a Scuff 1 controller for the Xbox One. I think it's a little dusty because I haven't used it in a bit. And a Harman Kardon speaker for my computer. Got a Vizio TV here. So I did a little research when it was time to replace my TV. I had a PlayStation TV, not the little box that streams your PlayStation to another TV, but an actual PlayStation 3 branded TV. And that thing was junk. It was on the fritz. I had to get rid of it. Did a little bit of research, and I found out that this fairly cheap 32-inch Vizio TV that fits pretty nicely on my desk here has excellent input lag. It's a really low lag monitor, so it looks nice. It has nice lag, or low lag. I was really happy about it. Below it, you can see a blue ice microphone, or a blue snowball ice microphone. This thing is hooked up to my PlayStation 4, and the only reason it's sitting here is so that I can record chat off of my PlayStation 4, so you can hear my voice and the people I'm chatting with. I'm not going to go into a full explanation of how that works right now. I'll actually, you know what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description of this video to a video where I did actually explain how that works. Below it, you can see some remote controls. This is for the stereo, it's for the TV, and this is for a Roku box. I don't really use this Roku box because the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 both do pretty well on streaming. Got some cables there. Down below, you can see this is the Elgato. You can see the Elgato HD60. This is a great device. This was an upgrade over the older Elgato HD. You can see there's nothing plugged into the output. You may be surprised by that. The reason for that is when you do settings on the Elgato for recording, like if you want to change the color saturation or if you want to change the contrast ratio, it changes in this box and spits those changes out through this USB cord to your computer, but also through this output to your monitor, which is not good. So sometimes I want to record at a lower contrast or lower brightness than I actually want to play at because it may look better. So what I do is I actually have the input from my console going into the splitter. One side of the splitter goes to the Elgato, and one side of the splitter goes to the TV up there. And that bypasses that kind of issue for me. So I think that's it for that. You can see I got a blue Yeti. This is what I actually record on. This is kind of like a really cool looking microphone stabilizer. So when I pound on the desk, you can't actually hear it through the microphone. And then it's I think a Hale microphone arm there. That does a nice job. It kind of holds it steady for me. I can position it wherever I want. You'll see it in my videos quite frequently whenever I'm doing a face cam. But yeah, I like that microphone quite a bit. I see no reason to upgrade it. It's just a USB mic and it does a great job. I've been really happy with it. So I talked earlier about how I have a few devices in my life that have changed my life, and this is definitely one of them. This is an Imac 5K Retina display, Imac, whatever they call it. And man, it has made YouTube so much easier and frankly more fun, because previous to this computer, I was using a 2010 MacBook Pro that was just slower than hell. It was fine for like internet browsing or basically anything you wanted to do with it, unless you wanted to render video. It was just way underpowered for that task. So late last year, I actually picked this thing up. It was an expensive computer, but I gotta say it was well worth it because it has made a world of difference. Instead of spending 2 hours rendering a video, I'm spending 10 minutes rendering a video. So it's that big a difference. Also, that 5K screen is gorgeous. You can't really see on here how good it is, but actually I'm editing a video in that window, and that window is actually true 1080p. So the whole screen is 5K, but that window right there is true 1080p. It makes a world of difference when I'm editing because I can really see things that I wouldn't have been able to see if I was just editing in a small window on a 1080p screen. It's really made a big difference. It's much faster. It's much easier now. And YouTube, frankly, just became much more enjoyable. All right, what do we got down here? Oh, we got a USB hub there, a little rocketfish jobber that I picked up over at Best Buy. And you might be able to see kind of in the back there a whole bunch of hard drives. Got like a Lacy Thunderbolt drive and a couple of USB 3 drives. I keep those hidden back there because they're ugly and they're loud, and I just don't like to see them. They got flashing lights, which drive me crazy. So they're just kind of hidden back there. You got a Sennheiser Momentum headphones. I love these headphones, man. They are awesome. So they're kind of smallish headphones. They're nice and light. You'll see them when I do podcasting. I use them for just about everything. They're nearly always connected to my computer. They sound great for music. They sound great for when I'm editing videos. They're wonderful headphones. I've been nothing but pleased with those things. And then I got a second display attached over to my computer there. Not a big deal. You can see my computer's actually going to sleep. And just a cheapo keyboard. I don't game on my computer much, so I really don't need a nice keyboard. And then a little touchpad and the mouse there. I got a bunch of storage, some little thumb drives and stuff for cameras. Oh, I got this little guy here. This is a little charger for my PS Vita. I love this thing because it charges it, and it's also got some speakers on it. So if I want to listen to, like a YouTube video on my PS Vita, this thing actually does a pretty nice job. It was only like 20 bucks at GameStop. I picked it up. I was actually pleased as punch with it. Got my iPad. This is a wicked old iPad. It's an iPad 3. It's the first one that ever came out with the Retina display screen. I don't use it for much. Occasionally I'll watch some YouTube videos on it. For the most part right now, it is just my Hue light controller. So you can see when I move my finger across there, the lights change color, which is great. I love the Hue lights. I also use it for Sonos control. So I use Sonos to kind of control music in the house. It does a great job with that. For the most part, though, it's just too slow to actually use for much of anything. Got a coffee cup there. Always keep my coffee warm. Actually, it should be on my coffee warmer. I got this for Christmas this year. It's the most bizarre little thing. You turn this switch on, it's just like a hot plate right there. Keeps your hot coffee warm. That's all it does. It's a strange little device, but I love it. What do we got over here? Another speaker. The Kardon speakers are like old as dirt, but they still sound pretty magnificent. There's a subwoofer under the desk as well. Some of you may be familiar with the notebook that I talk about somewhat frequently. And a bunch of kind of office supplies, pens, pencils, sharpeners, a couple of USB hard drives. My watches. Okay, so this is the watch that my father gave me when I got married. And this is the watch that I gave myself when I turned 21. Those are the two watches I have. That's my watch collection. All right, over here, we got a couple of Sonos parts. I've been playing around with the Sonos, the Destiny Collector's Edition box. I know I have to throw this thing away, but it's such a cool looking box. What do we got in here? Oh, okay. So in here, we got some Blu-rays that I never ever watch, so I might as well just get rid of them. We actually have the art book. I believe this is the art book from BioShock Infinite, which I love. A Bungie Destiny book. It came with the collector's edition of Destiny there. Got a little Boba Fett. There's just a bunch of tchotchkes in here. BioShock Infinite, Call of Duty, Halo, some of the older games that I still kind of enjoy. 2 versions of Super Mario Brothers. I don't know why that's there. And some books. Got some Indiana Jones action figure, a Star Wars lunchbox, and some books down there. As you can see, it's just kind of a weird collection of stuff. Up above it, so I've always wondered, what do you guys do with these posters? It seems like every time I buy a game these days, it comes with a poster. Every 6 months or so, I throw away about 6 or 7 posters, and then 6 months later, I've got a stack of them up here again. I got a little Lego VW bus that one of my kids made. I think that thing is pretty cool. It just kind of stays here to be displayed. Another Hue light there. A bottle of wine. I used to have a red truck. Somebody gave me that as a gift. So I just kept the bottle because I thought it was cool. And 10 bonus points to anybody who can figure out what movie that picture is from. All right, and kind of coming to the end here, we got R2-D2, also built out of Lego bricks. I think that's actually pretty impressive. The kids made that as well. That took a long time, and it's actually pretty detailed. All that stuff moves, too. His legs all move, his head moves around, swivels. I think it's actually pretty cool. Got a box for photo equipment there, a chair for sitting. All right, over here we got kind of the stereo I listen to while I'm working. Older stereo, not really meant to be a 2-channel stereo, but I kind of repurposed it to be. Got a record player up there. I love listening to records. Also, it's connected to Sonos. That just happened recently, and I'm really enjoying that. Also, an Airport Express so that the Sonos can also connect to AirPlay through the Apple ecosystem. And a couple of old speakers. These speakers are probably 20 years old, but they still work fine. But I'd like to replace them because they just don't sound as good as newer speakers would. It's hard, though, because these speakers work fine. It's hard to justify just going out and replacing something that already works fine for something that works better. I don't know. I have a problem with that. Probably eventually I'll just end up doing it, though. More books, some DVDs. If I don't listen to, or if I don't watch Blu-rays, I tell you, I watch DVDs even less. I don't even know where some of these DVDs came from. There are a ton of them. I gotta get rid of these things. Got another Star Wars lunchbox, books, a bunch of boxes. I don't know why I keep these boxes. I'm obsessive compulsive about it, but I do it. Some records down there. And that's basically it. This is a Yamaha receiver, the record player. I can't remember the brand of the record player. And a Sony CD player. Another light there. Oh, almost forgot this guy in the corner. So somebody actually bought a new TV. They had this old, I think this is a 50-inch TV that they were getting rid of. I said, I'll take it. And so I'm going to mount that somewhere in the office. I haven't quite decided where I'm going to do it yet, but projects coming up later. It'll be nice to have a bigger TV in here as well. And then a second office chair for when I need second seating in here. Somebody else wants to sit at the desk with me. And that's basically it. That's the whole room tour. So let me know what you guys think of the room. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions of how to improve it. And I guess that's going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.